President Sara Duterte denounces allegations linking the suspected murders of missing cockfight gamers to her father's war on drugs. Meanwhile, the vice president's spokesperson claims she no longer has any dealings with the businessman linked to the disappearance of the missing men. Katrina Domingo reports.
Sabi niya that is
This was former President Rodrigo Duterte's supposed reaction after he was told that several police officials who took part in his administration's drug war are now being implicated in the so-called missing sabungeros case, or the disappearance and alleged killing of some 34 cockfighting gamers who were accused of rigging games back in 2021 and 2022.
Sinabihan ko siya na there is an attempt to link him to the missing sabungeros case. Doon siya nakakongot na daw yung attempt to link him to the missing sabungeros and the bones or the bodies in Taal.
Witness Julie Patidongan earlier claimed that a certain group within the Philippine National Police was being tapped for extrajudicial killings, both in the Duterte administration's campaign against illegal drugs and the murder of the cockfight gamers. Patidongan's statements, however, are still being validated at the Justice Department and the National Police Commission. Vice President Sara Duterte says she's no longer surprised that their family has been dragged into the missing sabungeros issue.
It is expected because we saw it early on with their attacks to my office.
Office of the Vice President spokesperson Ruth Castelo clarified that she no longer has business ties with gambling lord Charlie Apong Ang, who is being tagged as the mastermind in the missing sabungeros case. Castelo worked as Ang's lawyer in 2007 when the businessman was facing plunder charges linked to former President Joseph Estrada's wedding scandal.
We remained friends, yes, but his own activities, his endeavors, his own businesses, I had nothing to do with anymore. No, I'm not involved.
Meanwhile, the OVP reported that only 34% of their 733 million peso budget has been utilized in the first half of 2025. This number is far below the OVP's 85.5% utilization rate in 2024 when the office had a 2 billion peso budget. Castelo says the slow spending this year may be due to the OVP's cautiousness in disbursing funds to ensure that budget issues would not be raised anew against the Vice President's office.
But we also do not want to carelessly utilize the funds. We're just being careful, but we intend to use up the entire budget that is allotted to us. We still have time, and we're going to speed up our the action on all our programs.
Castelo adds the OVP welcomes the 61% trust rating Vice President Sara Duterte got in the Social Weather Station's latest survey. She says the steady number may be due to the OVP's previous lack of efforts to report its programs and accomplishments to the public. Castelo also pointed out the alleged lack of support for the Vice President, calling it a great disservice to the country. The spokesperson gave this comment when asked about the common belief among Filipinos that the second-in-command is just a spare tire.
Not being able to provide funds for her projects and programs, not being able to support the Vice President is a great disservice to the country.
Katrina Domingo, ABS-CBN.
Philippine authorities are exhuming the remains of 3 unidentified bodies buried at the local cemetery in the town of Laurel in Batangas province 3 years ago. Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Remulla says the remains could be connected to the case of the missing cockfighting enthusiasts. Details in this report.
The Philippine Coast Guard has expanded its search for the missing cockfight enthusiasts in Taal Lake using a remotely operated vehicle or ROV. From the initial 100 meters by 100 meters, the search area has now been widened to 300 meters by 300 meters. However, the PCG says the ROV is facing challenges due to the muddy lake bed and the presence of debris underwater, including fishing nets that are blocking its path. As the underwater search continues, police are also digging at a public cemetery in the town of Laurel, where 3 unidentified male bodies were reportedly buried. Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Remulla confirms that the remains being exhumed could be connected to the missing cockfight enthusiasts.
May mga nahanap sa isang parte ng Batangas na hindi na-claim, 3 tao to. Ang usual dyan, pinalilibing ng pulisya pag wala ng claim sa Trinidad. So, pinapa-exhume natin ngayon.
Gravedigger Magdaleno was the one tasked to bury the bodies. According to reports, the bodies were found in different parts of Laurel, Batangas nearly 3 years ago.
Hindi naman lahat sabay-sabay yan. Tatlo yan.
May tama ba ng bala yan sila?
Hindi ko nakikita dahil may balot niya ako ng isa'y kumo, isa'y plastic.
Authorities have used a mini backhoe for the excavation and have so far recovered skulls and bones from the site. Meanwhile, the Philippine National Police Forensic Group has confirmed that one of the 6 bones recovered from Taal Lake is possibly from a human.
Well, it brings us closer to the conclusion of the story. It all ties up now. Sinabi ni alias Totoy, kung nakita yon, kasi may video tayo ng abduction, may video tayo ng forced confession. Ngayon kung mahanap yung katawan, then it all ties up that it is a conspiracy, a grand conspiracy amongst all of them.
Remulla has given his assurance that no one will be spared, regardless of their position, if they are found to be involved in the disappearance of the cockfight enthusiasts.